And then you look at a guy like Geno Atkins, who, in my opinion, should be a future Hall of Famer. Will he? Probably not, because the NFL hates the Bengals. But if he was with the Steelers or Cowboys, I honestly believe he'd probably be like a first ballot Hall of Famer or something. But Geno Atkins is still a free agent. And, a couple of weeks ago, we kind of talked about, should the Bengals sign Geno Atkins? And there was lots of people talking about, should the Bengals maybe sign, one of the best players in franchise history for their postseason run? And at this point, when you have 2 weeks to prepare, when you're playing a Super Bowl in the Super Bowl against the Rams, and you could really use some more help at defensive tackle, I definitely think this is a much different question and possibly a much different response than we were talking a couple weeks ago. So do you think the Bengals should sign Geno Atkins for their game in Super Bowl 56?
Jordan, that would be a great story. I mean, from being a fan of his, and he is a Hall of Famer, and I'm not sure that he's going to get in either. It would be a great story to get him back, but I'm just feeling like if they haven't brought him back at any point in time, maybe he doesn't have anything left in the tank. I think he's on the couch for a reason. I think maybe it's the shoulder injuries, or maybe the legs just got old. I mean, I don't know. I haven't seen him train. I haven't seen him play in a very long time. But I just feel like if the Bengals thought he could have helped them, they would have signed him in a second, as opposed to, they signed Square, who had a couple nice plays. Kerr's had a couple nice plays, but those are really like no-name guys that are back of the roster guys. And if Atkins had some game left, that they would definitely have chosen him over those two. So I just don't think he has any game left, and that's obviously no disrespect to him. Age catches up with us all.
Yeah, that's a very interesting, answer, because a couple of weeks ago I was kind of, not totally for, not totally against it. But now I feel like since you have a full, basically 2 weeks to prepare for this game, and, you kind of mentioned some of these defense tackles who, honestly, I mean, no disrespect to them, they're kind of, no names that Bengal fans haven't really heard of, guys like Square and Kerr, been brought up from the practice squad. To me, I would love it if the Bengals sign Atkins. I was not really for it a couple weeks ago, but now, I mean, since you have so much more time to prepare, and I would really like it, to have guys more experienced at the defensive tackle position. And it's one of those deals, if they win or lose, regardless, it's going to be Atkins' last game. But I also agree with your, answer. There has to be a reason why Atkins hasn't, been signed. To me, that's very just strange and odd and kind of crazy that a guy who's been one of the best defensive tackles this past decade, you take Aaron Donald away from the equation. I think there's certainly a debate that Geno Atkins has been the best defensive tackle in the entire NFL the past decade or so. Up there, we know with Fletcher Cox of Philadelphia and some other people, but I don't get why he hasn't been signed, especially, when you look at guys like Mike Zimmer, who's already had experience with Atkins and some of these other guys. I would love one of the Bengals sign Atkins, but the fact that they haven't, to me, is kind of, showing that, Atkins really might not have nothing in the tank, kind of like you mentioned.
Yeah, I'm going to guess that's the case. And you're right. That would be great to see him play in a Super Bowl with the Bengals. And, they don't need him for that many snaps. You could rotate him in for, 8 to 12 snaps. And, but I mean, if I guess he's not even capable of doing that right now, because I really think they would have signed him if not. Or maybe he's angry with the Bengals. I don't know. It could be a whole bunch of things.